Hello and good afternoon, everybody. We are here for another fun session of Homework Helper. We're going to be doing section 1.3 today. One of the things we talked about in class is we started looking at geometrics, geometric growth, and we also started to look at more function notation. And so what I'm going to do here is going to go over the homework and kind of keep some of those things in mind. When we're looking at this first section A, what we're looking at here is it's asking us for function notation when we're given not the n, but rather what the f of n equals. So one easy way to kind of think about this if you're having trouble understanding function notation is the n is our x and the f of n is our y. So previously we would have equations that look like y equals mx plus b or something like that. Well, now we're going to have f of n equals some number n plus b, or whatever ends up happening. So when this says, when f of n equals 12, what is the value of n? So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at f of n here, and I scan until I see 12, and I see that it's 12 right here. And when it's 12, my n value is 5, because it's the corresponding value there. Now this asks, what is the value of n minus 1? Well, we know that n from the a part is 5. So what it's asking is, what is f of 5 minus 1? Or what is f of 4? Well, here's where 4 is n, so my value is going to be 7. Okay? So it's just a way of looking at what's going on with the function. I'll do one more here. I'll actually do 4. You know, when f of n equals 2, so when f of n equals 2, which is right here, my n value is 3. Now, what is the value of f of n plus 3? Well, I know that n is 3, so f of 3 plus 3, or f of 6. Well, what's f of 6? When n is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to be 17. Okay? So that's how we kind of play with function notation. The point of these 6 problems is to get you a little bit more comfortable with looking where what n is and what f of n is, and understanding the difference between them. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go on to the next section. So this one asks, use the given information to decide which equation will be the easiest to use to find the indicated value, find the value, and explain your choices. And here we're looking at the difference between explicit and recursive functions. And it does a really good job of telling us what an explicit function is. It's just y equals 3x plus 7. It's that y equals mx plus b. It's that equation that we're used to. Whereas the recursive function, you can see it says now equals the previous term plus 3. So recursive is always a way of just referring to the previous step. So when it says find the value of the 4th term, what's easier? Is it easier to plug 4 in for x? Or is it easier to look at the previous term and add 3 to it? Well, since we have the previous term, it's easier just to add 3 to this, just to go 19 and be done. So 19. And why is that? Well, it's because we had the previous term. So when we have that previous term, it's easier just to add on to whatever that is. But let's look at number 8. Same equation, same pattern, all of that, except now it wants us to find the 50th term. Well, geez, which one's going to be easier, the explicit equation or recursive? Do we know the 49th term? Because that's essentially what this is saying. This is saying the 50th term is equal to the 49th term plus 3. Well, we don't know what the 49th term is. So we would have to go from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, all the way up to 50, and that's going to take forever. So in this case, the explicit equation is going to be much easier to use, because now I can just go y equals 3 times 50 plus 7 equals, what is that, 150 plus 7 equals 157. So I use the explicit. And why is that easier? I did not have the previous term. All right, let's go to the next section. Okay. So for these ones here, we're playing more with exponents. That's still going to be a focus of ours. And in this case, it gives us different x's, and we're expected to plug it in and find our y. So when I plug this in, I get 4 to the first power, or 4. Here I get 4 squared, or 4 times 4, which is 16, etc., etc. So all you need to do is kind of grind through these. Now be mindful of like number 14 here. It has negative 3 to the x power. So like negative 3 to the first power is going to be negative 3. But what's negative 3 squared? Well, that's negative 3 times negative 3, right? Negative 3 times negative 3, which is going to be a positive 9. I see many students make the mistake where they only square the 3, but leave that negative there. So pay attention. You're going to multiply negative 3 times negative 3, not 3 times 3 and make it negative. Alrighty, and that's going to do it for today's homework. Should be a quick and easy one. And then tomorrow, we're going to work out. Thanks for watching. See ya in the morning.